Good afternoon, or a good early evening from here in Portugal, and in the UK, Gary. A
Yeah,
dark night, I think. I haven't seen you since the clocks went back, right?
yeah, that's true. It's pitch black outside.
Right.
Uh,
Occasionally lit by fireworks, as is customary on the 5th of November in the United
yes, yes, it is. It's so there might be a bit of background noise. It's not, we've not been invaded, but there'll be bangs and whooshes and
Kingdom.
who
Yes,
knows.
right.
It's
And
this
here in
weird
Portugal,
thing of, we commemorate the inability of 1600s rebels, Catholic rebels. They failed to blow up Parliament and King James. So what do? We celebrate the failure.
celebration of incompetence tonight, then in the United Kingdom
We,
on the
we,
5th.
we love an underdog.
It's a long running celebration as well, isn't it?
It is. I can't remember 16. What is it? 30 or something like that. Um,
Right. Okay. So let's say the acknowledgement
Pretty-
of the underdog rather than a celebration of incompetence.
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
okay.
But it's
And
still
maybe it's just a little signal to politicians as well, right? That we still celebrate this. This is
yeah,
this is what could have happened.
yeah. Just take note. It was a close run thing. If
Yes.
they hadn't have tried to blow up damp gunpowder, it would have been a whole different ballgame.
You're right. Yes, Guy Fawkes. Then you may
That's
have
the
heard
man.
of him in
Yeah.
other parts of the world. Right, this evening, yeah, quite a sort of tempestuous, tumultuous sort of atmosphere we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
Definitely in the world. Our guest unable to join us. Our scheduled guest unable to join us.
Mm,
Stephen, I hope will join us on a different occasion.
yeah, it was
Also,
promised. Yeah.
yeah, and also here in Portugal, we had one of the most stormy nights on record in
Oh,
terms of the amount of lightning flashes, an unprecedented amount of lightning flashes apparently last night. Yeah,
wow.
and it's back again this evening, it would appear. I've just had to batten down the hatches. I broadcast from my garage, and the garage door was banging away in the wind, so I've just shored that down very quickly.
I thought it was the Louisa trying to get the Rolls Royce out. That was,
No, not on this occasion. It's not a not good night to take the 12 miles per gallon vehicle out. It's
no.
the best thing to go out tonight is a sou'wester, I think,
Yeah.
or just stay indoors. Yeah, so distinctly rainy. I drove home just only like 20 minutes or so ago before the
Mhm.
show. And came along the Atlantic Road, and it was coming in sideways on the Atlantic Road. Quite scary.
Oh,
You know when
yeah.
you turn the music down so that you can drive safely? It was one of those situations.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference whatsoever.
And
But
the
that's
wipers are going as fast as possible, and you still can't clear the
there
water.
wasn't another level that I could go to that I actually needed. So yeah, it was quite
Mm.
scary. But so here we are in the warm, in the dry, and a real trooper of a guest joining us at short notice.
Oh,
Well, two
yeah.
things tonight. We've got Anna joining us with a brilliant update. She joined us
Mm.
a couple of months ago, I think, talking about her.
Quite a long time ago. I think she was
Was it longer
episode
than that?
5,
Was
maybe.
it really? Right. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's got a bit of an update. I've sent her the link to join us, and she's
Mm.
going to do that in just a moment, and bring us a bit of an update on the great work she's been doing after the closure of the cafe that she was involved in, a community
Mm.
cafe. She put a petition to the government and has had some success with that, and has been keeping us up to date with that, and can be here in person
Mm.
tonight to tell us all about it. Right. So I think a big round of applause for her when she joins. It's great work, don't you think?
Absolutely. Most people who get disappointments, like the closure of this hub, which for people who didn't see our episode, it's a hub for people who are disabled, um, with learning disabilities, and suddenly the funding just disappeared.
Yeah.
They even managed to raise £30,000, and still it wasn't anywhere near enough.
Mm,
But she's
mm.
taken this whole thing via her MP, Member of Parliament, to Parliament, and it looks like may change government policy.
How cool is that? How cool is that? Well
Talk
done,
about
Anna.
people power,
Yep, yep. So she didn't give up.
Never underestimate the obstinacy of people with a purpose.
Yeah, and maybe we can put our sort of cynicism. I'll own that. I can put my cynicism about
Mm.
petitions to one side as well. It might work. It
Yeah, it's
might
a
work.
crapshoot, but sometimes it does work. You just catch the right mood, or something is almost happening in politics, and it just needs a nudge, a justification, and I think that's what's happening. Whether it
Yeah.
becomes law, don't know, but there seems
Well,
to be a shift.
And who knows, something else might happen, mightn't it, as somebody recognizing her steadfastness and dedication to having something
Yeah,
happen.
there might be a billionaire out there that thinks, "Oh, this would be a good idea to fund."
Yeah,
nationally.
absolutely. You billionaires who tune into the Positive Echo show, what I'm hoping to do in the second half of the show, obviously we'll conclude with your positive news pick of the day. Before
Yeah.
we get that, after we've spoken to Anna, and before we go to our positive news pick of the day, courtesy of you, Gary, we talk about the Positive Echo here, and the corollary sort of metaphor, associated metaphor is the pebble in the pond, isn't it, and the ripples.
Yeah.
The echo, of course, is across the valley. If we dig deeper into all these metaphors, and I would like to have a look at the valley and the pond. We talk to people about the pebble that they're casting into the pond. We talk about their yodel of life that they're casting out across the valley that will echo through eternity. And I think it might be useful from time to time to think about and have a look at what the value might look like. Because I mean, I'm doing it from the point of view of the work I do with the Good Morning Portugal endeavor, and helping people move to Portugal. And it's really important, I think, to have a heads up, like literally lift your head up and have a look at the horizon and see what might be coming our way. I've been doing that for 5 years with Good Morning Portugal, and I'm thinking, okay, as I go into 2026, there's like a 5 year. There seems to be, or we make it so, an important 5 year span coming up that I think is going to be possibly epoch defining. Now that can be said in any time, and people kind of hope it will be, don't they? And in difficult times, people are hoping for a change. But I would be very surprised if this next 5 years isn't that for humanity. So I did a little bit of research, and I'd like to share what the valley might look like, or what the pond might look like for some of our time this evening as well.
Yeah. Now or later?
Well, we might go to it now because Anna has joined us backstage, but has got a sound issue, which is ironic. She's a keyboard player, musician, and DJ, and broadcaster, and it can get to the best.
But she has stepped into the breach right at the last minute.
Yeah,
so
to be fair, really short notice. Yeah, absolutely. So, Anna, I think you can probably hear us. We can't hear you yet, so just take your time, and we'll have a look at these sort of epoch-defining possibilities and the potential. The valley that the echo is going into, the pond that people are casting their pebbles into, which are the positive echoes, and the ripples that we hope will be positive ones for humanity. So the question I asked, I used Grok for this, and as soon as I did, I was a bit sorry that I had, because I was thinking, I can't help but think Grok research is a lot to do with Elon Musk's wish list. I don't know if you, what AI do you use?
I have very occasionally used ChatGPT for things like titles. My mind is really not attuned to catchy titles for things. So it comes up with suggestions, and some of them I feel it's not really me, but I've done it, and that's the limit. I won't let it write things for me.
No, well, I don't do that. I let it come up with research and ideas as artificial intelligence, and we should perhaps not refer to it as one blob of something. But that's where we are, I think, at the moment. We are poised on the promise of this and the controversy and how it may well change our lives. But it's not the only thing that's on the horizon in the valley and the pond of the future. So that when I got the results back, and it's 16 points the question was, because it's all about the prompts, isn't it? A list of things, geopolitical, technical, social, and economic, that are likely to affect humanity in the next 5 years. That's quite a good starting point, isn't it? And here's a concise, high-impact watch list, in inverted commas, for 2025 to 2030. Everything below is already in motion or has a greater than 60% chance of materially reshaping daily life markets or power maps within 60 months. Which, when you say 5 years as 60 months, it doesn't sound like a very long time, does it? No. And when I got the results back, I said, how much of this is made up? To which the answer was a snappy 0, full stop. Every single bullet is built from public database sources that already exist today, 5th
Okay.
of November 2025. Here's the receipt trail, so you can check for yourself. It's like Grok going to you and you suggesting me hallucinating. Right,
Yeah.
we'll have a very quick check to see if Anna's available. Anna, can you hear us backstage or front stage now? No, okay, we'll come back to you. I will proceed then with my list here. 16 points. On the geopolitical front, Gary, tech wall. And a lot of these I don't understand. You might be able to help me understand them, or we'll just give them a pass if we don't understand them, and come back to some of the others. The US-China tech wall becomes physical. Export control, the Entity List 2.0, and the CHIPS Act, Foundries Online, and Taiwan's foundry share drops from 92% to less than 50% of less than 3. What are NMs? Nanometers, chips. The result that every phone, car, and missile needs a nationality check by 2028. So does that mean like chips within chips, do you think? So that the Chinese chip manufacturers will not enable chips unless it's verified. Is that what that means?
It sounds something like this thing around TikTok, for example. It's a great piece of software, but we can't trust it. We can't. This is what's being said in certain circles. We can't trust their cars. They might have something embedded in them.
Yes. That's right. Yeah.
It's about having physical fingerprints that tell you where stuff comes from, so you can make a decision as well: do I buy it or not?
And maybe it's a kind of digital ID thing that Chinese chips only work for Chinese approved activities.
Because they are very wary of anything that's going to, if you pardon the expression, chip away at their independence.
Very good. Yes. Okay.
So it's kind of paranoia, mutual paranoia.
Yes, and that means that means that we will fall one side or the other of that wall,
and we won't have any choice. You and I.
Well, chances are we'll be on the Anglo-American side, right, or the European-American side of that wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the tech wall that becomes physical in the next 5 years. Then there's the post-26 Arctic rush. Russia and China open 7 new icebreaker fleets, and NATO will respond to that. Northern Sea Route cuts Asia-Europe shipping 40%. First commercial oil from the Arctic, Alaska, by 2029. So that's a trade route of geopolitical significance then, and cutting through the Arctic so that the flow of oil to Russia and China can be less affected by the people who hold the power over that at the moment. That's a game changer, isn't it?
It is. I mean, if you are energy independent, whether you want oil or not, but if you are energy independent, you have an advantage over a country that isn't independent.
Yeah.
And it's just because if the Arctic does melt more, there won't be a need for 7 icebreaker fleets. You'll just push your ordinary pipelines or super tankers through.
Unless there's a different kind of energy becoming available, because that's another thing that's on the horizon.
Yeah, that's kind of we've got the old valley with fossil fuels, to use your metaphor.
Yes.
And the new valley, which is renewables, but they also come with issues.
Of course they do.
As a slight sidebar, I think this idea of renewable energy, wind farms, solar panels, solar farms, for example, I hadn't realized how much damage is made into the ground by a solar farm.
Yeah.
There are copper cables, so I understand, and other structures that go 20 meters deep.
Yep.
So when they're decommissioned, they'll take all the panels off and everything on the surface, but all that metal is still in the soil.
Yes.
So it's as environmentally friendly as we like to think.
I'm not surprised to hear that.
Should we be building every new building and retrofitting every building with panels.
Yeah, it makes complete sense, doesn't it, to put the panels on the what you could already call the eyesore or the construction rather than covering the land with it. Yeah, it makes no sense.
There are some great examples of the area between roadways having solar panels, or solar panels on the tops of mega stores.
Yeah,
etc.
Yeah.
I've got 6 panels, and it's the pigeons that ruin them by shitting on them. So I've got to get them.
Okay. Well, it's a shame you don't have a methane digester as well for a little bit of power, but that might be a little bit difficult to catch. Right.
I'd get the guano out of it.
You would. Northern Sea routes then cuts Asia-Europe shipping by 40%, which will be a big change geopolitically. India becomes the third pole, that's 0.3 of the geopolitical changes for the next 5 years. India overtakes Japan GDP, signs defense pact with France, Vietnam, and the Philippines, and by 2029, the Indian Navy permanently patrols the Straits of Malacca alongside Quad. Don't know who Quad are. But that also sounds like a major geopolitical shift. G0 UN paralysis, 3 vetoes in 2026 alone. It does sound like, Grok is looking into a crystal ball here, or is suggesting that some of these things are already underway in some way, and this is the likely outcome. Global South creates BRICS. I mean, we know about that, don't we? And the Climate Fund, $400 billion that bypasses the IMF. That's an interesting one, that the BRICS activities might overshadow what we've come to know, what we've grown up with, Gary.
Yeah.
The world order that we knew will be surpassed by other countries. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
Well, here's something about the valley of if you like, the Western developed nations. And this might be controversial. And I'll talk about Britain because that's where I live. We still are a wealthy nation, and that's our valley. But there are signs of our economy struggling, really struggling.
Yes.
Independent of lots of other geopolitical issues.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, and America's the same. It owes vast amounts of money.
Yes.
It can never pay them back. Europe's not far off, and some countries are worse than others. I wonder whether we're running out of the slavery premium, the slavery dividend, because most of our industrial wealth, our economic wealth, was built on slavery. And it seems to be the energy that gave us in the 19th century and earlier is just petering out. We aren't replacing it with anything else.
There is quite a suspect, though, in the frame, is there not, to replace it with? And you could argue that slavery was augmented by machinery, the robot slaves of humanity, who are about to undergo the most astounding transformation and having intelligence put into them. How that's going to go, how that is going, is questionable and the source of much continued debate, I'm sure. But that's what we're poised on, I think.
Yeah. So when we're talking about the valley and the voices that we yell across them to each other,
yes,
which hopefully are positive, we are at the mercy of lots of these geopolitical things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we can either bury our heads and go, well, there's nothing I can do, the sky's falling in, or we can go, what is within my sphere of influence, and what should I do within my sphere of influence? My voice probably isn't loud enough to get all the way down the valley. But if I pass it on to my nearest neighbors, and I mean that both physically and electronically,
pass it on,
there's an amplification that goes on.
Yes.
Like
I think we do. Yes, I think we do have to talk about what we want, as well as what we imagine is coming our way and have that conversation. I think that's one of the requirements of being a human being, isn't it? Is to
Yeah.
consider things, to converse about things, and to elect what we care for and promote what we care for. I think that's really important.
I mean, stepping away from any particular political affiliation, the elections that have just happened in America are an example of a grassroots amplification of voices.
Yeah.
And it will change the shape of the valley in America.
No question. Yeah. And to coin a biblical phrase, in my father's house there are many mansions. In this world of ours, there are many valleys. So
Yes.
whilst the major elections of the world seem to be the most dominant society shapers, they're not really. They get the most attention, but there's so much going on in the world that is outside of that realm. And it's
Yeah.
really important, I think, that people understand that they are very powerful outside of those machines of politics.
I mean, one of our sorry to interrupt you. One of our previous guests, Jess Friday, who we
yes
told us about this idea of new community-based economies.
Yes.
Her work is really, really taking off.
Yeah.
But the problem for people like her is that, if you like, the traditional economical drivers and the people who run them are busily suppressing them. Having a really hard time as individuals.
Yes.
So I keep my eye out for Jess, and I've subscribed to her Substack. She's struggling financially, but she just won't give in.
Very good. Excellent. Good evening to Bobby. Hello, Bobby. And an award winner. His contribution via the arts to society was acknowledged on our show this morning. And good evening, gentlemen from Squire of the Shires. Anna, I think we'll have to call in 10 or 15 minutes via WhatsApp. That's probably going to be the best way to do this tonight, Anna. So I'm going to whip through a few more of these points. We have India as the third poll then in world affairs. 3 vetoes. This is UN. Oh, we've done that one. G0, UN paralysis. Okay, so let's move on to technical. Agentic AI leaves the lab. 2026 open source SWE Agent 2 writes 70% of new code. Looks like writing code is not the best business to be in at the moment, unless you're the supervisor of the code that's going to be written by open source SWE Agent 2, the machines that will be writing the code instead of human beings. By 2028, 40% of Fortune 500 customer support will be 100% autonomous. How do you respond to that when you hear that possibility? 2028, not long from now, Gary. When we were kids, 2028 seemed like science fiction. It's only 3 years away, my friend. 40% of Fortune 500 customer support is thought to be 100% autonomous in 3 years' time. What sort of world will that be? What do you think of that?
So it depends on, was that a really good job for a human being to do in the first place?
Nope.
Customer service at the really basic level. Pretty soul destroying. I've known people that have been in customer services. We used to call them the complaints department, by the way.
Yes. Until it became so many complaints, it needed a new name.
So I had a very good experience recently with the chatbot, AI chatbot on Substack. And I had a very subtle issue that was nagging me like crazy. It solved it within 8 interactions, completely solved it. And I went, whoa, this is interesting.
Yes.
If this gets better and better, I don't mind that I'm not talking to a human in that situation. My problem is solved.
Yes.
The quid pro quo is, what are all the humans doing that used to work in those jobs?
Yes.
And they don't get a say in it. Their voices are not amplified down the valley. They're just gone. So how do they then play a meaningful role in humanity after those kind of jobs disappear?
Well, to be kind of pretty frank about it, being in customer service wasn't that wasn't what we wanted for them in the first place, right?
No.
So you could argue that they are free, finally free of that, and that the application of AI could be that we create a world and society with it that doesn't need the really, I don't know, it just seems so prehistoric, doesn't it, to have people having really silly problems being dealt with by people who are driving to a telephone to speak to those people with problems, not solving their problems. Both people get upset, and AI you'd think would be used to figure out the initial problem. Like somebody wants to use a service, so can we find out the best way for them to use that service, get the service, and pay for it? That would be the best application, wouldn't it? Rather than having the persistence of call centers run by robots.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite the same as people at checkouts. You know, in shops, I like people checkouts, but there are now whole chains of shops, and I won't name names. People know who they are in Britain, where it's all automated.
Yes.
And you swipe your barcode over a reader, and if you're really lucky, and you have a problem, the red light comes on, and somebody will come out from the back of the shop and maybe help you.
I think people do that on purpose now. But anyway, that's the world we're moving into. Is more of that, I suspect.
Yeah.
The battery iPhone moment. This next one's being called solid state cells. Toyota and QuantumScape will hit 600. What a WH watt hour per kilogram, I suppose, in 2027. That will make EVs cheaper than ICE cars in every segment by 2029. That will be a game changer, I think. Starlink. This is where I thought this was just Elon's agenda being squeezed into Grok. Starlink 2.0 and Kuiper equals a global mesh. By 2027, there will be less than 30 milliseconds latency anywhere on Earth for the internet. The effect rural Africa leapfrogs 5G and goes straight to satellite VR schools. That could be a game changer. I mean, it's hard to imagine what that would mean, but that is, given that you and I went through from dial-up to fiber, those kids will know nothing of that, and they'll go straight to something that surpasses 5G and all the technological innovation that brings with it.
Which is good. Yeah, I'm always a devil's advocate. The benign
yes.
It's already becoming the case that land-based astronomy is being hampered to a point where it's going to have to stop because of Starlink, the mesh. They can't see past the noise.
Elon doesn't care about that. He'd rather light up the sky and have us have a mesh than have darkness at night, so you can see your stars, you old romantic.
Yeah. So there's what I'm trying to get at is that new valley that's created by this.
Yes.
Suddenly, the voice that used to yell across the valley again is stopped.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. It's just the things that we thought were there forever suddenly are not going to be there forever, and there's almost a grieving process.
We don't have time for that, do we? With the sort of pace of change we're talking about here, we barely have time to recover. So, but I get your point. Point 8, CRISPR 3.0 goes outpatient. Don't know what CRISPR is. I'm thinking it's an American
CRISPR is a way of editing genes.
Oh, okay. So here we go.
Very specifically.
Here we go then. FDA approves in-clinic gene edit for sickle cell, high cholesterol, and hereditary blindness. So those challenges for humanity will be walk-in gene editing by 2028. The cost drops to 15 grand to 200 million eligible patients by 2030. If that works, that sounds like a pretty good leap for mankind.
It's a great leap, but I'll take you back a bit to the days of prenatal diagnosis of things like muscular dystrophy.
Yeah.
So you had brilliant technology which could tell parents that their child will be dystrophic. The only treatment that was offered was termination of the fetus.
Yep.
So with CRISPR, brilliant. You can treat diseases, but you could also potentially change an embryo in utero,
Yes.
designer babies,
Yes.
for example.
Yep. Yep.
Why? And the money. So technology sometimes has to be regulated. So the
Yeah.
Valley has to have regulation.
We shall see if that occurs. I imagine there are some very well-resourced scientists who are very eager to get cracking without too many concerns for the ethics of these things.
Yeah.
Social then, number 9 of our list of 16, passport recession, 2027, 15 countries tighten citizenship by investment, digital nomad visas halved apparently, which may be of interest to, by complete coincidence, for one of our listeners this evening. Remote workers trapped in high-tax home countries leads to the rise of border cities, for example, Tijuana. Does that mean then people who move for a better cost of living somewhere get trapped there? I suppose it does, doesn't it? Because they can't afford to move back home. The ratio changes on that. So a passport recession, that's interesting, especially with the mourning business that I'm in. Fertility collapse hits services. Japan and South Korea, less than 0.8 births per woman. By 2029, first robot nursing homes as well outnumber human ones. Kill me, Gary. I do not want to be in a robot-run nursing home. Do you?
As long as the coffee's hot enough, I'll be fine.
But I've just got this vision of like one of those robots tripping over and throwing the coffee over you. I mean, I don't want that to happen, but
I mean, you assume that the robot is perfect. And
okay.
I can honestly say that some of the people that looked after my late mum were fabulous, efficient, lovely people. Some of them were terrible.
Yes, but worse than robots.
Awful individual. So a robot will not be an awful individual because it will be programmed not to be. So
what could possibly go wrong? And I think they should all be made in the shape of Nurse Gladys from Open All Hours, just to make some of us older gentlemen feel. And, you know, if the ladies can have one of their own design as well, probably David Jacobs or Ronnie Barker. Germany imports
deep water there, mate.
Let's move on. Germany imports 1 million 18-year-olds via new vocational passport. What? How do you import 1 million 18-year-olds? How does that work? That is quite a big induction process, as well, is it not?
Well, I guess it comes back to that. Are there enough births happening?
Not in Germany. No, not in Europe. No, European population is down.
You invite people to come to supplement them.
I thought they'd already done that. I thought they'd already done that in Germany. But anyway, more of that because of collapsing fertility. Deep fake elections, apparently 2026 midterms, 3 Senate races swing on AI videos proven fake only after the votes are certified. When I ask Grok how much of this is made up, that's a guess, isn't it? I mean, that can't be a fact given that it hasn't happened yet.
No, it's a guess. It's a prediction made on data and put through a modeling system.
Brilliant. Okay.
Funnily enough, there's a brilliant Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman song.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which I can't remember the name of, but it's the idea of creating a false war somewhere.
Oh, okay, all right.
And everybody is convinced that there's this war in this place, probably in Africa, and it's just to shore up the existing presidential incumbent. And that's 20 years ago, at least, that film was made, but it is so pertinent to the deep fake now.
Very interesting.
So if I can remember what the film's called, I'll let you know.
Okay, well, it might be coming true in 2026 if it hasn't already. 2028, then 40 countries require video watermark law. That's to, I guess, to verify that videos are accurate. When in fact they can't be, can they? They are always a recording of something. So by definition, they're not real. Yeah, but I guess it's the amount of doctoring that's verified. Gen Z, this is interesting, as the Americans would say it, the great opt-out. 2027, 35% of US 23-year-olds live with parents. That's up from 18% in 2019. And new political parties in 7 countries built on the anti-hustle platform, as in, I suppose, against the Protestant work ethic and growth is good and all those sorts of things that would be right up the alleyway of Gen Zs. The great opt-out continues then, according to this forecast from Grok. Economic, then these final 4 points before we go to Anna. Dollar weaponization backfires. 2026, Saudi and India settle 30% of oil in the Indian rupee / digital rupee. 2029, US dollar share of global reserves falls to 47%, lowest since 1995. The AI capex bubble will happen, then a crash. 2025, 27, 1.8 trillion spent on GPU clusters, whatever they are. They sound like a really delicious breakfast, but I suspect they're not. Past the GPU clusters, Gary. 2028, 40% overcapacity leads to NVIDIA share price dropping 65%, triggering a mini recession. That's forecast for 2028. I mean, there have been people on YouTube forecasting a recession since 5 years ago, and they're still any minute now. But you can see what they're saying.
But that's C bubble kind of thing. I did see in the news that NVIDIA, the market cap is bigger than all but 4 countries.
Right. That's bizarre, isn't it?
One company
is
worth more, and a lot of the worth isn't related to actual revenue, but worth more than every country except for their gross national product.
Incredible, isn't it? Incredible times. I've just posted the summary to the chat if you want it. Just a couple more to go. Stranded middle class, real wages flat since 2022 over the next 5 years, whilst asset prices go up 60%. 2029, 22% of the OECD millennials own 0 property. 1 in 5 owns nothing, and presumably may or may not be happy about it, to coin a phrase, leading to a new 15% wealth tax in 9 countries, is their guess there. And finally, green steel and hydrogen tipping point. 2027, green steel 15% cheaper than blast furnace in Europe. I had no idea that this was going on, the technological advance of steel. There you go, 15% cheaper than blast furnace in Europe, in newer countries with newer systems. 2030, 40% of global shipping runs on ammonia, methanol. That's not renewable, is it? I don't know. I'm not sure. Ammonia, methanol, anyway, 40% of global shipping, where, of course, most or much of the world's energy goes into global shipping, doesn't it? Because those vast tankers need it.
Vast amounts of it.
Yeah. So there you go. That's our look at the valley and the pond, the context into which our guests share with us their positive echoes. Just a little bit of contextual information there, which may go up as well as down, or from left to right, depending. But some things I'd never considered or thought about that Grok has brought to my attention there. Other AI platforms are available. Right. I think what we'll do, Anna, and if it's okay with you, Gary, should we give her a call and see if she picks up on the phone here? So let me just search for you, Anna, in WhatsApp, and we'll give you a buzz and see if you can pick up this way. Let's see if this works. Okay. This is exciting, isn't it? It's like being on a quiz show from the 70s. Who's ringing the golden shot?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We're adding you to the stage as well. Are you there, Anna?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I've actually got you on my laptop as well, so I might be causing a bit of an echo, but I can turn the. I managed to literally get it working when I thought it was playing it up. So.
Well, we will be told by those watching whether the connection is good with you or not. I wonder if you wouldn't mind, Squire, who says it seems new paradigms are emerging, not just to challenge the old, but to replace the old dominant systems as well. Yeah, interesting times we're living in. If you, Bobby, or whoever's still with us, if you could let us know if Anna can be heard loud and clear from the UK. How are you, Anna?
I'm very good, thank you. Yep, I've actually got you on my phone and laptop. So if you're hearing an echo, I've literally got you on 2 screens, so I can switch.
We've got good feedback, as in not feedback, but How confusing is that?
I can hear you twice. I've got you on computer and I've got you on phone as well, so I can hear you twice.
Why don't you turn off the computer and just talk to us on the phone, and then it will come through more easily from your end as well, I think.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So we got to catch up with Anna, who was with us. Gary tells me in one of our early episodes, which is a few months ago now, talking about the situation with the cafe she used to work at. So when you're ready, Anna, if you want to give us a little bit of that backstory, and then we'll go to the catch up and the good news that's happened subsequently.
Yeah, sure. It was yes, way back in 2020. I think it was June or so. I was doing a work experience. It initially started as 8 weeks up at No Limits Community Cafe and Hub, which is just before the bus station for those in the Devon area. And for those not in the UK, I'm in the UK. But yes, I literally started doing 8 weeks, and it just continued as a ongoing work experience, really, just doing coffee making and all the usual cafe tasks. And it was all going really well, as I thought nothing really was going to happen out of the ordinary. And it wasn't until earlier this year that it all caught me out of the blue, because on the day after I'd had a morning shift, which was on a Tuesday, I was literally on my way to a music lesson and had a message saying, could I come, or an email saying, could I come in for an urgent meeting before my shift the next day? Which after a bit of switching things around, I literally had a meeting with both my managers, and it turned out that there was a bit of I don't know if it was probably funding as such, but yes, due to sort of financial difficulties, the cafe was literally facing closure. Mm-hmm. And it all happened so fast, because literally as soon as I heard the news, I was requested to sort of keep it until it had gone live, which it did actually on BBC News, under Access to Work, and then the following week was literally my last week at No Limits, and Thursday the 27th, I believe, was my last ever shift, and it closed on the 28th of March. So ever since then, yes, I've literally been at home, and the slight frustrating thing is with the Access to Work situation which has come up since, I can't really apply for work for at least a year, so I'm possibly going to have to wait till it resets, which is probably not till March.
Yikes. So you are very happy to have that job, and you and many other people lost their opportunity to work and be part of a working community. There, approximately how many people were in that working community?
I'm just trying to remember how many. I haven't got the website up in front of me, but yes, they did manage to get quite a few people into sort of paid employment, because that was one of the extras that they could do. So yes, people come in for work experience, and then quite a few of them sort of managed to get into paid employment afterwards. And yeah, I think it was at least half, or just over half, of the people that came in, and there were job coaches there as well, who were there all the time helping, and the two managers as well. So yes, and it was literally sort of just in the nick of time, really, because in the last few weeks, as it turned out, I'd literally just managed to sort a CV out, and then it was almost like a few weeks or a couple of weeks later, it was doors closing, and yes, trying to keep it together on my last shift, I think.
Imagine.
So
That's been really hard. Yeah. But
so,
it did shut. It shut, didn't it? But you weren't satisfied with that, and you decided to get involved with fighting the closure and writing to your local MP. Just
a bit, yes, because I literally heard everyone was talking about writing to MPs. So yes, the one that I wrote to had already been in touch with my managers, so he already knew what was happening. And then, yes, earlier this year, I'm trying to remember the days now, I got to speak with Martin Wrigley, who's the MP for Newton Abbot, and just sort of literally was telling him about the experience, and it sort of prompted me to get a petition going, which I think has been up and running since 23rd of March, I think. And I can't quite believe how fast it's literally gone up. I sort of feel slightly self-conscious because I'm aware that originally the original cause is still its main title, which is Saving No Limits, which I wasn't able to do. And then because of No Limits closing, I decided, okay, I'll try it from a community spaces kind of angle.
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment it's over halfway through 700 signatures, and it's literally been going since March. So it's approaching about 750 signatures currently. So yes, I've literally just been checking every day.
Very good, very good. Go on, Gary.
So for those of you who are in the UK, please have a look for Anna's petition. If we can put the link up, or I can potentially put it in the description when it goes out on YouTube. But where are we now with the situation, Anna? Because I know it's been raised in the Houses of Parliament, but where would you say we are, and what comes next?
Did you hear that from Gary?
I couldn't hear anything this side, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, say your question again, Gary, and I'll echo it to positive echo it to Anna.
Very good.
Thank you.
I'm interested, Anna, in where we are now in the process.
Yes.
In the Houses of Parliament, and what comes next.
Where are we now in the parliamentary process? Now that it has come to the awareness, attention of some MPs, and what happens next, Anna? I think you got good news.
Yes, it's I've got a bit of a timeline in front of me, but yes, the latest news, which I literally heard yesterday, so slightly hot off the press. They've introduced a, in inverted commas, English devolution and community empowerment bill, which apparently gives the right to, if I can read my writing, to communities first refusal of the sale of registered buildings or land if they're put up for sale. I'm still trying to get my head around what it all means. But it's from what I understand, I've hit a bit of a success with that one, and having not really done a petition before, it's sort of literally skyrocketed so much. It's almost like a putting it in a fireworks night perspective, it's almost like I've set the fuse and it's exploded before I blinked. So
good analogy. So, Gary, go on. What do you make of it?
So if I tell you what I think, then you can tell Anna.
Yeah, absolutely. You go ahead.
You're the only one with the direct link. It sounds a bit like the situation where, let's say there's an artwork of national importance that a private individual is selling.
Yes.
Museums and art galleries based in Britain get first refusal.
Mm-hmm.
So with this law about local organizations, they get first refusal on properties that could support organizations like No Limits. So they're going to get them cheaper, and they don't have to fight against developers. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, what Gary's hearing, Anna, is this might put community projects on a more even, on a better playing field with developers who've just got the funds to come and buy things, which puts community projects obviously at a distinct disadvantage. They have to rely on charity and donations, but this might have a little bit of government muscle behind it to make space available for a project such as yours.
Yeah, because it's yes, I think because it's such a new process for me. I don't know if it's just the whole knowing I've literally been in for so long. I've just had that sort of I really want to do something, and it's almost like 1 minute I've sort of gone from the I really don't know what to do. I've been sort of running around in circles, and I seem to remember the from a mentor's past experience. I think I know all about circles, so I've tried going in a straight line, and it's almost like suddenly I've been running when I thought I was walking, and it's almost like I've just suddenly come across this sort of inner power which I didn't really know was there.
Cool.
And half the time it takes me forever to get started, and on this particular occasion I just can't stop. And I still don't know what the to use another word which I remember you used with me a few times. I'm still trying to work out what the main intention is at the moment, but I seem to be running with it and trying to sort of put the jigsaw together as I go, really.
Well, whatever's happening or whatever you're doing, it seems to be working. So keep going. Pete's tuned in. He said, nice to hear you, Anna. Been ages since Lee and the gardening show. So an old friends meeting up online there, and great to hear about the project. What do you want to happen then, Anna, with this?
I was sort of trying to figure that out slightly, because when I was first thinking about it, I was sort of thinking, do I sort of focus on sort of differently abled like myself? Because of having past experience, I could literally sort of list my backstory slightly, because I've had situations of a school closing down and becoming another school. And yes, I've had a youth club come to a close, and then other places as well. And I really didn't expect it to happen. So I'm sort of trying not to let the past drag me down too much. But so part of me was sort of wondering about more sort of inclusive spaces for like sort of differently abled like myself, because I as well as the sort of challenges that I have as well, I also discovered I have neurodiversity as well, which wasn't picked up until sort of early adult. So I'm sort of trying to sort of work through that not again kind of phase, because it's yes, I've had a bit of a repeated run of stop starts.
Fair enough. Totally get that, and you're doing an amazing job considering what the circumstances in which you're operating, and how brilliant. Today's show was going to be about legacy. And you have, because of your work, a note within the machinery of government acknowledging the need for mental health and disabled support spaces. So I think that's quite a legacy there. And you're not over yet. You're not done yet, is she, Gary?
No. I'd like you, Carl, to let her know that she will get the Positive Echo Award for her work.
There you go. Did you hear that, Anna? I don't suppose you did you?
I can only hear you, I'm afraid.
Gary has decided that you're going to get a Positive Echo Award for your work, which I thoroughly endorse, support, and think is a fabulous idea. So yes, there we go. You are the first recipient, in fact, of the Positive Echo Award.
Thank you.
So Gary, tell me more, and I'll relay that on to Anna.
There'll be a certificate. I'll announce it on my Substack, The Positive Echo. Cool. It will go on to LinkedIn. You can let people know on your social media, and we'll make sure that a digital version with your name on it will be sent to Anna.
There you go. A certificate is on its way, Anna. That will be up on Gary's Substack, all over LinkedIn, and you'll be able to share that to tell people, and so people can acknowledge the great work you've been doing.
Oh, thank you.
Not at all. Thank you for being part of the Positive Echo, the big echo, the collective echo. Thank you for your part in that, and the amazing work you've done. And from tonight, that amazing thing you said about you weren't quite sure what you were doing, what was working, what wasn't working, but something's working, and now you can't stop. You're
Yeah.
right. There's something wonderful about that in how you've just felt the urge to keep going, and you've made something happen. So well done, and congratulations on the award.
Oh, thank you.
All right, fantastic. Right, that will be on its way to you, and such that you can share it, and we'll be able to say a bit more about that next time we're on as well, won't we, Gary? In 2 weeks' time. Thanks, Anna. A big round of applause for you.
That's right.
There you go. And we'll speak to you again soon when you've got your next update on that, which I'm sure you will have invariably.
No problem.
All right. Okay. Ciao for now, Anna.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right, thank you very much. Ciao, ciao. Bye for now. There she goes, Anna Todd in the UK, leaving us just a little bit of time. Sorry, you weren't able to connect. It was a bit of a technological link too far to have her on WhatsApp and you on StreamYard and for you to hear each other. But that's fantastic, Gary. Brilliant beneficiary of the first Positive Echo Award.
Yeah. Okay. So now we've got our in other news in the last few minutes. If you can find the link.
I've got that. It's coming onto the screen now from the Grawny ad.
Yeah,
as we used to call it back in the day. When I pass a pile of fishing nets, I see piles of money. I want to say in a Cornish piratical sort of way, a one-man recycling revolution on the Cornish coast. What's this about?
So here's Ian Falconer, who is a professional fisherman. But he's also an incredibly curious guy. And he noticed that old nets that were no use anymore were just being dumped on the dock. And he also knew a lot of them were just being dumped in the sea, but he couldn't get at those. So he did his homework, and to cut a very long story short, he's invented a new way of recycling all these dead nets and turning them into initially into pellets, but the pellets are in a particular format that they can be made into all sorts of things like 3D filament, 3D printing filament, all kinds of things. So he's patented the way of doing it. Yeah. So you can see it's been made into glasses frames, everything you can think of. He wasn't satisfied with just doing this on a small scale. So he has designed and built with lots of other clever people, entire machines that will fit inside a shipping container and can go anywhere in the world and start doing the same thing. So here's a guy that, we would have labeled as, he's a fisherman. He can't be that bright necessarily. But once he was unleashed, this guy is changing the world. And it comes back to what you said about valleys. He's just dug his own valley.
Yes, yeah.
So what the message for me is, you might think you're going to start small, but if you just keep going and you bring the right people in and the right kind of investment, you can change the world. You might then have to pass it on to someone else as he gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But he's got some huge multinational corporates funding him.
Yeah. That's
just a guy.
Proper win-win, isn't it? I just think the basic environmental moral case apparently hasn't helped, that people should clear up their nets. He's just found a way of commercializing and making it more efficient and exciting and commercial. And there you go. Launched a brilliant thing that used to be called Fishy Filaments, and it's now called Orca, with a capital O, a small r, a capital CA, which must be a brilliant acronym of some sort, a meaningful acronym. Determined to find a solution to discarded plastic nets, Ian Falconer found a way to convert them into filament for 3D printing for use in products from motorbikes to sunglasses. Well done, Ian Falconer there on the beautiful Cornish coast. And yes, looking out to stormy seas, another positive echo. I'm shouting out to stormy seas and calming them a little bit, or polluted seas anyway, making all of these surveys on a daily basis a more pleasant place to be, and earning something out as a result.
There we go. I'm done.
All right, cheers, Gary. Perfect timing. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Maybe Stephen will be able to reschedule, our legacy man. But
He's desperate to come on, but it was a family thing. He just couldn't.
no, fair enough. Fair enough. Totally understand. And we look forward to meeting with him. If not in 2 weeks' time, then on another occasion, because he'll be a great guest. All the best to you. Have a great evening. Have a great couple of weeks, and we'll see you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.